gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga, and check us out on all of our media platforms. Well, there is now an IRS whistleblower who's coming forward to say that the Department of Justice and the Biden administration is mishandling the prosecution of Hunter Biden. Oh, is that a shocker? These are gangsters. Does anybody think that the Department of Justice and a U.S. attorney anywhere is going to prosecute Hunter Biden for anything? Really? Remember, these are like Eric Holder, Barack Obama. That nothing's going to happen on a federal level. And doesn't it drive you crazy, folks? It's years go by. You could look at Hunter Biden's laptop and within days decide whether to prosecute him or not. Other information. You could interview Bob Alinsky and say, here's a probable cause here. That's what you need, probable cause. It just never happens. Robert Kennedy Jr. formally announced his presidency yesterday, and he is running against Joe Biden, and he's got like 15% of the vote already, and he's gaining like 32% of Biden voters. Now, I want to share something with you about this. Okay, I'm a conservative. I'm a Republican. There are so many things that Bobby Kennedy Jr. and I would never see eye to eye on. Okay? But you have to be some kind of fool if you're on our team, meaning the Trump team, Republican team, to not love this development for the following reasons. First off, how is a Kennedy running in a primary against Joe Biden not damaging as hell to Joe Biden? This is a real threat. This is a real candidate. And look what he's done. I mean, you can forget. I'm sure he's pro-choice on abortion and all that stuff. But look at his position on the vax. I mean, I'm telling you, folks, I'm tickled to death about this development. I also want you to know that I'm not a phony. I've got a friend, Chris Steineman, who's personal friends with this guy. Chris Steineman happens to be one of my dearest, newest buddies, one of my right-hand men. And we share so much commonality, and some of that commonality is we've been abused by the system, but yet we're strong enough to take it and we fight back. And Chris told me that Bobby's a lot like us, and he's got a past. He's got a past involving some drug issues way back when. I think he heroin, but he beat it. I don't judge him for that. So the bottom line is, especially in this day and age, right? So I'm excited about this development. It isn't going to hurt Trump any, is it? By the way, I'm for Trump for president. I'm not for Bobby Kennedy Jr. But, my friend Chris Steineman, I think, is for him, and I get that. Hell, you're personal friends with the guy. Went up to his announcement. That's how close they are. But this is going to be good. Bobby versus Joe. And apparently the liberal Kennedys aren't even all in his camp. All right, Supreme Court has temporarily at least delayed the abortion pill going into work. Good. The licking game. You can't make this up. This weird middle schoolers having staff and students licking like marshmallow and stuff, just off glass like Goofy. Stop. Who thinks of this? Who says, this will be okay? Big news. Jim Jordan, by a federal court, they'll appeal to the circuit, the Sixth Circuit, or not the Sixth Circuit, but the circuit, whatever it's in. I always say Sixth Circuit because that's Cincinnati. But Jordan can subpoena old Bragg. Woohoo! Obamacare for illegals? Really? Donald Trump came out yesterday and said he would immediately rescind that. This is a wild story. I love both of these guys, McConaughey and Harrelson. Two good human beings, two great actors, have been friends forever. Their first True Detective was amazing. I need to rewatch it. These guys have been friends, have done a lot of movies. You can't make this up. Woody Harrelson's father was an actual hitman, was serving life imprisonment for killing a judge and died in prison. Wild, right? Turns out they've had a lot of people talk to them that they kind of look alike. I mean, this is wild. And apparently, Matthew's mother had an encounter in Italy with Woody's father. And they think it's not beyond the realm of possibility they're half brothers. And Woody's all for the blood, or he supports it, but he says it's up to Matthew whether he does it or not. But would that not be a wild story that they end up being half brothers after having that bond? I love it. All right. You know what? Green drives me crazy. Taylor Green. A lot of things. I mean, there's a lot of things she does that I'm not down with, okay? But I can bond with her because she's got that bluntness like me. See, I bond with people like that. I don't look at them and say, oh, I don't like them, because it's not me. I tend to flock with birds of a feather, you know what I mean? So I kind of like her. But I don't agree with everything she's done. Some of the stuff I don't, but that's okay. We can't agree with everything. But she called out Swalwell with his affair with Fang Fang Bang Bang. I love saying that. Fang Fang Bang Bang. Dr. Melman loves when I say that too. That's for you, Doc. Fang Fang Bang Bang. In a congressional hearing. And they wanted it stricken from the record. Screw that. Inspector General claims the Afghanistan one was a complete debacle. But guess what happens with Inspector General reports? Nothing. I was talking to some people in the gym yesterday, and we were talking about nobody ever gets prosecuted except Donald Trump for BS. It's truly amazing. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has a day. Coming up next, local news. Ladies and gentlemen, American Jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to Bulldogtv Local News. As always, where Deters Consulting is one of our sponsors, along with Parks Yoga, and check us out on all of our platforms. Well, the lead story is the debates. Yesterday morning, the Kentucky Sports Radio, Matt Jones, who has drag queens at his bar, he even had him on Palm Sunday of all things, hosted a debate where Daniel Cameron did not go, but it was Kelly Craft, Alan Keck, Ryan Qualls, and Mike Harmon. I am blowing the doors off Harmon and Keck. I'm going to catch Qualls, Cameron, and Craft. And he refused to invite. Who is Matt Jones? Matt Jones is a liberal Democrat who is always mulling over running for office. Always mulling over. And guess who owns him? The Crafts. I've got information that the Crafts own a piece of good old Matt Jones. And we know who donates all this money to the University of Kentucky. So, guess what? Nice, controlled little forum where she's willing to show up. She's not coming to Northern Kentucky at the Link GOP WCPO forum and debate. We'll see if she shows up at KET, Fox News. But guess what? Her not showing up doesn't get to change at all what I get to say about her. She's trying to buy the election. She's a globalist. She pushed the vaccine on anybody and everybody. She's a piece of work. And guess what? She said that date in January was a threat to democracy. And she abandoned Trump like, whew. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Meanwhile, Cameron's campaign is crashing and burning. And remember, Mitch McConnell owns all four of them. Kelly Craft spoke so highly of Elaine Chao at the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce this year. By the way, you know who else owns all them? China. Kelly Craft, Mitch McConnell, China. But let's talk some more about Kelly Craft. Do you know Kelly Craft, as ambassador to Canada, was like, they couldn't believe it, did the worst job ever, the worst attendance ever, spent more time in her mansion in Oklahoma than she did in Canada. I mean, she's an empty suit, folks. Empty suit. Married a billionaire. She acts like she had, this is her third husband, the billionaire husband. Acts like she had a little bit. Her little night marketing company was like a little piddly like business. Didn't amount to a hill of beans. Marketing my butt. Remember, and also some more things I want to say about each of these people. Daniel Cameron is not going to protect you on your guns. He's not going to protect you on your guns. Ryan Qualls, he's for the mutilation of children if the parents okay it. Mike Harmon, nice guy, no chance. Polling at 1%. Folks, I'm going to win this thing. I'm going to win it. Let's keep it up. Law and crime. Bengals running back Joe Mixon appeared in court Wednesday for an alleged road rage incident. He pleaded not guilty to aggravated menacing. Court documents state Mixon pointed a gun at someone on Walnut Street and 2nd Street. Here's the facts. Here's the question. Why did he point the gun? Did he have a justifiable reason of pointing that gun? He's a celebrity. You never know whether he feared for his life or not. I'm saying if he did this. So facts are still to be determined. And he showed up in court yesterday with the two lawyers, Scott Croswell and forget the other guy's name, Silverdecker or whatever his name is. They're the same two that were the special prosecutors of, I'm giving you some inside baseball, of Tracy Hunter, very close to Joe Deters, Melissa Powers, who I love, very close to Joe Deters, the New Hamilton County prosecutor. So you know why he hired those two folks. By the way, if I was charged with a crime in Hamilton County, I'd hire Scott Croswell. Casey Theroff from Lebanon has been sentenced to 2 years in prison for an incident last August. Theroff got in an argument with her neighbors, so Theroff sent her two dogs to attack the neighbor's 6-year-old daughter. The 6-year-old was mauled by the dogs and was forced to undergo multiple emergency surgeries. The judge has ruled the dogs will be humanely put down, both animals. In local news, a recent analysis of life expectancy data in the tri-state has some surprising results. The analysis revealed how different life expectancy was based on what area you live in. For example, residents in certain Indian Hill areas can expect to live a life around 88 years. Why not? You know why? They have less stress. But drive 20 minutes away in some areas of Newport, and that dips to 62 years. It isn't where you live, it's your money. When you have money, you eliminate all that financial stress. One of the most expensive and extravagant houses in the tri-state area is currently up for sale. This is on Turkey Foot Road. We've been driving by and looking at it and all for years. The only thing that cracks me about this home and why I don't think they're going to get $8.9 million for it is where it's located. It's located, all around it is typical American middle-class homes. People that want to buy that home want it on an estate or Triple Crown or Country Squire or Indian Hill. But it is a magnificent home. I mean, look at that. I mean, if you drive down Turkey Foot, you know where the home is. They're wanting $8.9 million. Woo! Kentucky State News. The Environmental Protection Agency has announced new rules aimed at reducing chemical plant emissions. Kentucky has 10 locations across the state that potentially fall short of the new regulations. Imagine that. Ohio State News. A committee hearing at the Ohio State House Wednesday devolved into a chaotic scene. The Senate approved a controversial resolution that will make it harder to bring abortion back to Ohio. A change to House Bill 8, known as the Parents' Bill of Rights, will affect teacher communication. The change will eliminate discretion for a teacher to withhold information from a parent. They got to contact them. And in sports, the Cincinnati Bengals announced yesterday that Skyline will be the official chili of the Bengals. Gold Star lost it. But I want to comment about this. I used to like Gold Star over Skyline. Now it's so clear that Skyline is so better than Gold Star, it's not even close. It's not even close. I'm talking about not just product. I'm talking about their restaurants, their service, all across the board. Hunter Green signed a 6-year deal with the Cincinnati Reds yesterday. The deal's worth $53 million. The Reds went on to lose to Tampa Bay, again, 8-0. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Coming up next, Jamie Spindley in his World News.
Hello, Bulldog Nation. The latest headlines from around the world. Thousands of civilians have fled Sudan's capital, and foreign nations are trying to evacuate their citizens after a 5th day of fierce fighting. Witnesses reported people leaving Khartoum in cars and on foot yesterday morning. Japan and Tanzania say they are also considering evacuating their citizens. More than 155,000 workers in Canada have gone on strike. making the biggest action of its kind in the country in more than 3 decades. It is expected to affect multiple government services from tax filings to passport renewals. The Prime Minister has called for a swift resolution. At least 78 people have been killed in a crush at a school in the Yemen capital Sana'a during a distribution of charity for Ramadan. Hundreds of people crowded into the school late on Wednesday afternoon to receive donations amounting to $9 per person. Tragic. And in sports, Manchester City will play Older's Real Madrid, whilst AC Milan will play Inter Milan in the European Champions League semi-finals. Until tomorrow, take care, and as always, thank you for watching Bulldog TV World News.